Hey there, beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of Empowered You, the podcast where we talk all things healing, growth, and turning pain into power. I'm your host, Jill Ripley, and it is my intention to use my own personal experience to help you or someone you love open to the idea of letting go of past pain and using it as a springboard for personal growth. Much of what I share here is inspired by my own journey that I wrote about in my book, Empowered by the Storm, Releasing the Past and Embracing the Light. If anything I talk about today resonates with you, I invite you to check it out. It's available on Amazon or through my website at empoweredbythestorm.com. So, what if the story you've been telling yourself about your pain is the very thing that's keeping you stuck? Today, we're talking about the victim mindset, how to recognize it, how to release it, and how to step fully into the powerful, intentional life that you were meant to live. Today, we're diving into something that can be both uncomfortable and liberating to explore, letting go of the victim mentality. This episode is all about reclaiming your power and shifting from why me to what now. Now, before we go too far, I want to say this clearly. If you've experienced trauma, grief, abandonment, or any kind of pain, you are absolutely entitled to your feelings. What happened to you mattered, and it's not your fault. But staying in the mindset that you're powerless or broken, that's where we get stuck. You, my friend, were not meant to stay stuck. You were meant to grow, to evolve, and to reclaim your voice. And that's what we're unraveling today. Let's talk about trauma for a moment. Trauma is not only about what happened, but how it made us feel. Unsafe, unloved, unseen, or unworthy. Trauma can make us feel scared and helpless, like we have no control over our world. And when that trauma is caused by someone we trusted, like a parent, a relative, a partner, or a teacher, it cuts even deeper because it wasn't just pain, it was also betrayal. These are the people who were supposed to protect us, to love us, and to keep us safe. So when they become the source of our suffering, it creates a wound layered with confusion, vulnerability, and a deep sense of being unworthy. It makes us question everything, our value, our instincts, even our reality. That kind of hurt doesn't just scar us emotionally. It distorts the way we see ourselves and others moving forward. It shakes the foundation of trust, not just in others, but in ourselves. And often, when trauma is caused by someone close to us, it doesn't just leave a wound. It leaves behind shame. We begin to internalize the belief that maybe it was somehow our fault, that we should have seen it coming, or that we should have stopped it. We replay it over and over in our minds, looking for what we missed, trying to rewrite the ending. But instead, we just deepen the pain. That shame lingers like a heavy fog, clouding our judgment and weighing us down. It tells us lies like, you should have done something, or you weren't enough to stop it. Even when we were just children, or scared, or frozen in the face of something far beyond our control. And here's the hard truth with a healing edge. You didn't cause it. You didn't deserve it. And carrying the blame isn't your burden to bear. Real healing begins when we name that shame, when we pull it out of the dark and see it for what it is, a lie. Our pain told us to make sense of something senseless. I know this truth intimately because it happened to me. When I was just 5 years old, a neighbor lured me into the woods under the pretense of looking for his lost cat. What followed was a moment that stole my innocence. A deeply violating experience that left me feeling confused, terrified, and ashamed. Fortunately, I was let go with the express agreement that I would never tell anyone about what happened. And I was so traumatized by the experience that I never did until I was in my 40s. And again, at age 12, I experienced another betrayal. I was taken advantage of by a family member. Alcohol was involved, and I remember thinking that had I not been drinking, maybe it wouldn't have happened. That maybe it was somehow my fault. But it wasn't. None of it was. What I've come to understand through years of healing is that the people who hurt me were not well. They were deeply broken themselves, acting from a place of emotional and spiritual disconnection. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't excuse their actions, but seeing their wounds helped me to release the belief that I was to blame. And I forgive them, not because they asked for it, and not because they deserve it, but because I deserve to be relieved from the unearned shame, guilt, and pain. That burden doesn't belong to me anymore, and it never did. I've come to learn that when people lash out, abandon, manipulate, or abuse, they're often acting from their own unhealed pain. Now, that doesn't excuse their behavior, not at all, but it can help us to understand it. You see, people who are whole, people who have a healthy mindset and have done their healing work, they don't intentionally harm others. When someone hurts you, it often has far more to do with their inner turmoil than with your worth. And when you can begin to see the pain behind the behavior, even just a glimpse, you can begin to free yourself. Not because you condone what they did, but because you choose to stop carrying it. That's compassion, not for them, but for yourself. Because staying in the victim mindset keeps us tethered to the past. It says, I can't move forward until they apologize, or I'll never be okay because of what they did. And I know that mindset well. I lived in it for a long time. But what I've come to realize is that healing isn't about waiting for justice. It's about reclaiming your power. It's saying, I get to decide how my story ends. And here are a few signs that you might be stuck in a victim mindset. Do you find yourself replaying the same painful story over and over again in your head? Do you maybe feel like life is happening to you, not for you? Do you often blame others for how you feel, or wait for them to change so you can feel better? Are you struggling to believe things can get better because your pain feels like a permanent part of who you are? If any of that sounds familiar, please hear me. It doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. But it also means there's an opportunity for healing and for reclaiming your power. So how do we begin to shift out of the victim mindset? Well, first thing, we need to acknowledge the hurt without judgment. Allow yourself to feel everything, the sadness, the anger, the grief. Let it move through you. Don't let it define you. And then get curious, not stuck. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Try asking, what is this here to teach me? For a long time, I lived with the silent ache of what was done to me. The confusion, the shame, the belief that I somehow invited it or I should have known better. But eventually, through deep healing, I came to see something else. What happened to me was horrific, but it was not the end of my story. It taught me that I am not what happened to my body. I am not bound by the actions of broken people, and I am not damaged goods. I learned that I am resilient, that I have a spirit stronger than fear, and that I could walk through that pain not just once, but again and again, and still choose to love, still choose to trust, still choose life. And if there's anything those experiences taught me, it's that while they shaped me, they never defined me. I don't carry them as weight anymore. I carry them as wisdom. Start identifying the beliefs that keep you small. Maybe it's, I'll never be safe, or I'm unlovable. These beliefs often stem from our pain, but they don't have to stay our truth. These beliefs stem from pain, from moments when something was unsafe or when love wasn't offered freely. But those beliefs don't have to become your life's narrative. So pause and ask yourself, what could I believe instead? Could it be, I'm learning how to feel safe again? Or, I'm lovable exactly as I am? You don't have to jump straight into full confidence or perfect healing. Just reach for the next most loving thought. Even something as simple as, maybe I'm not broken, maybe I'm healing, can begin to shift everything. Remember, beliefs are not facts. They're stories we've repeated over and over again, and you get to choose which ones you keep telling. Try speaking to yourself with compassion. You didn't choose what happened, but you can choose how you respond now. Treat yourself like someone you love. Notice your inner voice. If it sounds harsh or critical, pause and ask, would I talk to a friend this way? If not, shift the tone. Even something as simple as, I'm doing the best I can create space for healing. Honor your needs without guilt. Whether you need rest, quiet connection, or a boundary, give yourself permission to claim it. You don't need to earn care or prove your worth. You are worthy of being well, just as you are. Celebrate small wins. Healing isn't just about the big breakthroughs. It's also about showing up for yourself day after day. Take time to acknowledge the moments that you said no when you used to say yes, or the times you showed compassion instead of criticism. Surround yourself with safe support. Treating yourself like someone you love also means choosing environments that reflect that love, whether it's therapy, support groups, trusted friends, or communities like this podcast. Make space in your life for what uplifts you. Try reframing the story. Instead of saying, I was abandoned, try, I survived abandonment and learned to stand on my own. Instead of saying, I was mistreated, try saying, I know what I will no longer accept. After losing so many people I loved and going through personal struggles, it always seemed to feel like I was constantly in survival mode. But something shifted when I realized that I could take everything I had been through and use it, not as proof that I was broken, but as a foundation for the woman I was becoming. That shift from powerless to powerful didn't happen overnight, but it started the moments that I said, I'm ready to see things differently. Now, here's your reminder. You are not what happened to you. You are not the pain that was passed down to you. You are not the abandonment, the betrayal, or the neglect. You are the soul who is choosing to heal. You are the one who gets to write the next chapter, and you are allowed to grow beyond what broke you. And if this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with someone who might need it. And if you haven't already, hit that follow button so we can keep walking this journey together. Until next time, stay grounded, stay open, stay loving, and stay empowered. You've got this.